Good morning, everyone. Boy, this room got quiet in a hurry, didn't it? Anyway, welcome to the White House. It's my pleasure to welcome here today for the exciting announcement of the winners of the PSA Challenge. As a matter of fact, I was talking about a PSA Challenge, and somebody said, what does PSA stand for? So if you're not familiar with that, it's public service announcement. We see them on television all the time, and hopefully we get to see more of these in the future. I'm particularly pleased to be joined today by Secretary Napolitano, Secretary of Homeland Security, and Secretary Locke, Secretary of Commerce, and soon to be Ambassador to China. So welcome to both of you, and thank you very much. We also have a number of distinguished guests from the private sector, federal and local government, congressional staff, and nonprofit and community, including the National Cybersecurity Alliance and the Anti-Phishing Working Group, who together have helped lead the public and private sector Stop, Think, Connect campaign for almost a year now. Also, I'd like to welcome the Boys and Girls Club of America, Dare America, and I see the T-shirts, go Dare, and the YWCA. Also joining us today are students from the Computer Club at Scholar Stanton Elementary School here in Washington, D.C., the YWCA in Washington, D.C., the Dare Youth Advisory Board, and the Fort Myers swim team. So welcome to all of you, and thanks for joining us today. You know, last November, I was lucky enough to put together a video clip on YouTube putting out the challenge on behalf of Secretary Napolitano for the PSA challenge that we were talking about today. It actually was sort of the lead-off for our Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which we do every year, and so I'm particularly pleased to, through this video, challenge Americans to develop their own PSAs, looking for ways to promote Stop, Think, Connect, and to encourage Americans to do their part to be safe and secure online. Today's winners have done way more than I ever thought was going to happen when we did that announcement. The entries were very competitive, and I'm sure the judges had a very difficult time in deciding who the winners were going to be today. But as many people in the audience here know today, we use the internet to do all kinds of things. We use it for shopping, we use it for banking, learning, staying in touch, social networking, keeping in touch with family and friends. But yet keeping the internet safe and secure is a responsibility that no one group or no one individual has. So we need to make sure and we understand it is a shared responsibility. We need also to make sure that we take the time when we do things online to actually stop, think, before we connect to some of the great resources that are out there, to make sure indeed that we're being safe and secure in participating in online activities. Today's event itself is a great example of government, the private sector, nonprofit organizations, academia, and the American public all coming together to realize a vision set by the President when he announced the Cyberspace Policy Review in 2009. He called on all of us to begin a national campaign to promote cybersecurity awareness and digital literacy from our boardrooms to our classrooms, and to be ready to build a digital workforce for the 21st century. We're over 6 months into the campaign now since we launched the videos, and we're making good progress. The awareness campaign is part of a larger program, the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, or NICE as we call it, because NICE focuses on the dual goals of not only being a cyber-savvy citizen, as U.S. citizens are ready and able to make safe and effective use of digital technologies in all aspects of our daily lives, but also a cyber-capable workforce. American workers that now are ready to outcompete globally in meeting the cybersecurity challenges of the digital age. But awareness is a critical part of the NICE program. To this, we look at the formal education environment as an important setting for increased awareness, particularly for children and early teens. Increased awareness can help lead us to increased interest in cyber coursework and ultimately the possibility of a career in cybersecurity. Increased awareness increases public appreciation for the value of capable cyber professionals, including those with the appropriate credentials. But awareness also makes the job of cyber professionals easier through less users making mistakes and defeats security problems. So therefore, we need to do a job about doing better cyber hygiene to reduce the likelihood that any of us would fall victim to some of the threats that are out there today. NICE is led by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, Department of Commerce. It's my pleasure to now introduce Commerce Secretary Gary Locke and to turn the podium over to him and discuss NICE in a little bit more detail. Then we will have the honor of hearing from Secretary Napolitano on the campaign and get to the real reason we're here today, to look at the videos and announce the winners of the PSA Challenge. Secretary Locke.
Well, thank you very much, Howard, for the introduction and for your comments. It's really great to have everybody with us today. And as Howard indicated, the Department of Commerce, and specifically our National Institute of Standards and Technology, has been hard at work coordinating on behalf of the entire federal government the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, or NICE. This initiative will allow the American people to more effectively use digital technologies at home, while also allowing American workers and businesses to take advantage of the Internet's opportunities in this swiftly evolving global marketplace. Today, the worldwide economy is fueled by the power of the Internet, and it does an estimated $10 trillion of business online every single year, and nearly every transaction you can think of is being done over the Internet. Consumers paying their utility bills from their smartphones, people downloading movies, music, and books online, companies from the smallest store or bed and breakfast to the largest multinational corporation ordering their goods, paying vendors, and selling to customers via the Internet. And researchers predict that by the year 2020, the amount of transactions done every single year will exceed $24 trillion. Understanding the web's risk and how to deal with them, however, is a critically vital component of this growth. And only with greater outreach and education can we ensure that the online transactions are being done with minimal risk of fraud or abuse. Our nationwide cybersecurity education initiative takes this challenge head on, and our National Institute of Standards and Technology inside the Department of Commerce is helping to coordinate federal resources to improve cybersecurity awareness, education, and training. We're reaching out to Americans of all ages and all professions. The National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, or NICE, has been divided into 4 equally essential components. Component 1 is the National Cybersecurity Awareness Campaign, which seeks to encourage a national culture of security in cyberspace. And for the United States government, the Department of Homeland Security has primary responsibility for this line of work. And we're here today to celebrate one of their great accomplishments. But the national initiative does more. And component number 2 is what we've called formal cybersecurity education. It looks to deepen and broaden our investment in college and university level training so we can develop over the long run a healthy pool of skilled workers for a cyber-safe nation. Component 3, the cybersecurity workforce structure, has as its goal the hunt for talented people to fill these cybersecurity jobs, including retention, recruitment, and career path strategies. And component 4, the last component, is ongoing workforce training and development. Cyberspace is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. So it's critical that we maintain an unrivaled and skilled cyber workforce. We cannot afford to fail. After all, security experts have told us that just in the first 3 months of 2011, we saw nearly 67,000 new threats on the Internet every single day. This means that we had more than 45 new viruses, worms, or spyware and other threats that were being created every single minute, more than double the number from 2009. Consumers simply want to know that their personal information is going to be safe from cyber theft and phishing attacks. And they want to have trust in the Internet in order for business to flourish and to succeed. Protecting the security of consumers, businesses, and the Internet infrastructure has never been more difficult or more important. And despite the broad agreement between government and the business community today on these issues, We just can't hope for the best in the face of increasing organized and destructive cybersecurity threats. Just as the Commerce Department has done in advocating new policies for data privacy, and in the same way that we're advancing the development of more secure online identities, the federal government, working with stakeholders, public, private, commercial, we're all working to make the Internet a safer place for businesses of all sizes and for all consumers. The winners of the PSA challenge are doing their part to make that happen, and we applaud them for helping lead the way. Now it's my distinct pleasure to turn the podium over to a very dear friend of mine, former U.S. District Attorney, U.S. Attorney from the state of Arizona, then a great governor of the state of Arizona, and now the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, a great friend, an incredible driving force for cybersecurity, Janet Napolitano.
Okay, we have some young people in the audience, and so I'm going to ask some questions, but you only raise your hand if you're under the age of 21. That leaves out most of you all. Okay, and you too. Okay, if you are under the age of 21, how many of you spend a half an hour a day online? Raise your hand. Okay. All right, lower your hand. How many of you spend an hour a day, you think, online? Raise your hand. Go ahead. We just want to get a sense of it. All right? Okay? So, the answer is most of you spend at least a half an hour to an hour a day online. Right? And you probably spend more of it during the school year than not in the school year. Am I correct? Because you're doing research and homework now. You really are. And so you have to do some of your research online. Okay. So you are the reason we did this challenge. Because our culture is changing to being an online culture. We're moving away from just being about books and television and radio. Books, by the way, are these paper things. You also have pages. They're printed. Some of us actually use pen and paper that comes with lines on it so you can write it. So everything's done online. Our culture is changing. Everything's being done online. That's a great resource, right? You can find out information very quickly. You can confirm information very quickly. You can play games online. Some of you might. You can do a lot of different things online. So the culture is changing, and those under 21 are leading the change. You're at the front of that. Those over 21, we're running to keep up with it. Some of us more successfully than others. But the young people in this audience, you are among those who are leading the change, and you are the reason why the Stop, Think, Connect campaign was created. Because we need, as our culture changes, as we're all changing, we need people, and it needs to start with you, to stop and to think before they connect. And the reason is that for all the good things that are available online, there are dangers as well. And in my job, I see mostly the dangerous stuff. I see the bad stuff. And we want to make sure that our young people, as much as we can, are protected from that, or protect themselves. We're going to give you the information with which you protect yourselves. We're not going to be able to protect you in the way we're not going to stand behind you every time you're going online and say, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Or have you done this? Have you checked this? Have you stopped? Have you done stop? Have you done think? Have you done connect? We can't stand behind you and do that. So we're going to have to give you the information to help you protect yourselves. And one of the ways we're doing it is through PSAs, public service announcements. And one of the ways we got PSAs was to run a national competition. This is the first one. And so today we're going to recognize the first set of winners. So this is like announcing the first Academy Awards. The competition ran from November until last month. There were lots of very creative and original submissions, but our panel of judges did pick some winners. They form a diverse group. They show how far-ranging the need for what we call cybersecurity, computer security, right? And internet safety. You all are online. You should know what that means. But our winners include a group of college students, a nonprofit organization, and a large private company. So let's start with the college students. Paul Doctor, Devin Green, and Jared Mengenhausen, all of Dakota State University in Madison, South Dakota, won for their video entitled "The Woes of Wi-Fi." Did I say that correctly? Thank you. Which demonstrates the importance of using a secure online network. They created their winning video for a homework assignment for a system software security class, and yeah, they did get an A for the assignment. So if I can please have the team from Dakota State come forward. Paul is representing the team. All right, give it up. The second winner goes to a nonprofit organization entitled Stop Child Predators. They won for their video called Names Hurt. This video shows how hurtful words said online can be just as damaging, if not more so, as those said in person. Stop Child Predators is an organization that combats the sexual exploitation of children through various measures, including promoting online safety measures through awareness and training programs. So if we could have a representative from Stop Child Predators come forward, please. All right, give it up. And finally, a small company called Microsoft Corporation won for their video, which provides an overview of the Stop, Think, Connect campaign. Microsoft partners with the National Cybersecurity Alliance to help Americans understand cyber threats and how to protect themselves. Again, the idea is to give information to people so you can help protect yourself, your friends, your family members, and so forth. And so their video is an overview of the entire Stop, Think, Connect campaign. And if I could ask, please, for a representative from Microsoft to come forward. I want to thank everyone who provided a submission to the PSA Challenge. Congratulations to our winners, and we're glad to have all of you here today. And Americans across the country can go to dhs.gov/StopThinkConnect to become a friend of the campaign, and I think to see the videos, right? Indeed. And we'll also be showing them on the DHS website and on our YouTube channel. Yes, we too have a YouTube channel, so you'll be able to see them there and probably some other places as well. Can we show them here today? Okay, and now the unveiling of the winners.
What? Are you serious? What's wrong with this internet?
Sorry, the internet's been down all day. Why don't you grab a book?
But I need my Facebook. I guess I could do this free network.
I wouldn't do that if I was you. They'll say unsecure for a reason.
Whatever, it's just Facebook.
Oh, got another one. That's the 7th this week. Check it out.
Nice.
Ross.
Let's definitely teach her a lesson.
This'll show her.
Change your status. Nice. That'll teach them.
Hello? Check my status. Why? I didn't put anything on there. What? I didn't put that.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Is it still true? In the online world, playground chants echo for all to see and hear. Words, even said jokingly, can be hurtful and may have unintended consequences, especially when they are shared for the world to see. Remember to connect with care before going online. Names hurt. Bullying might begin as a joke, but kids know how to use grown-up tools like smartphones and the internet, yet don't have the perspective or understanding to see how their actions could lead to horrible outcomes. Bullied children become targets for even more vicious attacks. Stop internet predators before you go online, before your children go online. Stop, think, connect.
Hold it! Huh? Before you move a finger, stop, think, connect.
Stop. Before you click on a link, open an attachment, or reveal personal information online.
Think, do all of my devices have active and up-to-date security settings?
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you.
And for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Well, thank you very much. Those are great videos, and once again, congratulations to the winners. So I'd like to, before we do the final photo shoot with everybody and some of our friends here, I'd like to once again thank our two secretaries for not only being a part of this, but the things they do every day to help us, not only in the cyberspace area, but everything else you do. So thank you once again for your leadership in this area. So as I mentioned, this is a shared responsibility. And while today we've announced the winners of these, I think we can pretty much agree that anyone that uses the Stop, Think, Connect PSAs or that way of doing online work in your day-to-day life, we all benefit from that. We're all winners in that case because indeed we make cyberspace more secure, safer, and actually a lot more fun for us to use. And whether we're doing Angry Birds, and whether you get 3 stars in every episode, by the way, which they need the next version coming up, by the way, or we use it for social networking, homework, studying, do the things that we need to do, we all have that shared responsibility, and we all benefit from us working together to secure cyberspace. So with that, thank you once again. Keep up the good work, and we look forward to hearing you next year. Take care, everybody.